right. Hi, Cynthia. Can you hear me okay? Cynthia, did you get your sides cut, or are you gonna just watch today? Ooh, I'm chilly. A couple minutes early. Perfect. I think the only one that was actually sewing along was Diane, but she finished. And Lexi. So we'll give Lexi a few to see if she pops in. I just finished my homework like 20 minutes ago. So there is a chance we could get done today. It depends. Depends how fast we get through it, I guess. Just see here. Did you decide on the color? Oh no. Do you hear the squeak? Dexter has his toy. I am home alone. So I have Dexter in here, hoping that'll make it so Coco's a little quieter. Hi, Dexter, baby. Hi, baby. You got your ball? Hi, Dawn. Dexter wants attention. Oh, shh, no barking. Here you go. 23 months, Dawn. That means that we're coming on 2 years of doing these classes. Coco says hi. Hi, Lexi. Lexi, are you sewing along or watching today? Yeah, Dexter's got a squeaky ball. Hi, Diane. I don't know if Coco's barking because she hears the squeaky ball, but I think she's probably barking at kids walking by. 3 o'clock, school's out. So we usually have about 10 minutes of Coco mayhem. Did everybody have a good long weekend? Well, it was a long weekend here, so. Ooh, who are you testing for? That's exciting. So it may just be me sewing today, which means we will probably get through this pattern. We'll see how far we get. We'll give it about 5 more minutes to see who else pops in, but the only ones that were sewing this with me, I said Linda plans on making it, but she wasn't sewing with Cynthia, but Cynthia has to recut her sides. Lexi, but Lexi has to catch up. I'm happy to say that the new Pin It Up patterns is going to testing probably next week. I'm excited for it. I have to take pictures for the pattern still and get those to Anna and do the tutorial for it still. But it's a good one. I think it's a good one anyways. Can you guys hear his squeaky ball? Oh, Dexter, it's so noisy, baby. Yes, I'm talking to you. No. Shh, wanna go upstairs? I'm gonna see if he'll go upstairs. 1 sec. Okay, upstairs. Grab your ball. Grab your ball. Grab it. Okay, there you go. Go get it. Bye-bye. He's a chatterbox today, so we will just get him out of here. I hope everybody likes it. It's quite different from the first pattern, but still it's quite original, so that's good. I'm excited for it. All right. I think we're going to get started. So it looks like I'm sewing along today. Everybody else can catch up or message me if you need any help doing anything. Stop me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to plow on through. Okay. Let me split table. This is what I want. I cleaned my table. Okay, so we are working, if anybody's following along, we're going to finish up our exteriors. We are on page 24 of the pattern. So homework, we had to finish our sides, put in our purse feet, and then shape our sides. Oh, you're testing for Toby Stylix. Excellent. Her patterns are so much fun. They truly are. I need my pen. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want to draw 3/8 of an inch boxes on the bottoms of all of our exterior pieces. So I'm going to do that right away because it's Y seam corners, which I love. I just love the way they look in the end. So I could do it on my 2 exteriors. Oops, that doesn't look right. Let me try that again. Definitely wasn't right. Okay, want to do it on all 4 of our base pieces. I apologize for Coco. She's just being Coco. She's got a little bit of dementia, so she's being an old lady right now. She could be barking at Dexter too. Okay. And then as well, the bottom corners of our side pieces. All right. You guys will like this. So whenever I make a bag for a client, on the wrong side of an interfacing, I always write a little note. Not that they will ever know if it's there, but if they ever took the bag out, they would. So this one is going to my friend Bobby, who we have been friends since the 4th grade. So I wrote on the back, can you see that? Childhood friends since 1984 and a heart. She'll never know it's there, but I know it's there. So yeah, when I have a special client, I always like to write a little bit of a message. So that's what I wrote for her. Childhood friends since 1984. So we've known each other since we were 9, and she actually just turned 49. So crazy, we're getting old. All right, so we're not gonna worry about the bottom piece for now. I'm gonna take my front piece and work on it first. So this is the way these are gonna go. We're gonna put them right sides together and clip it from top to bottom. And you'll see we kind of how they go up and up. So you wanna make sure they match perfectly along the bottom or along the sides. going to do the other side at the same time. Are you excited? Thank you, Lexi. Did you make the up and away at all? I can't remember who all made it. Up and away, I know, is a little bit of a, you have to have a taste for it. It's a very different bag. I like it. Anna likes it. If it was a larger bag, the next one isn't a large bag at all. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sew down these, and we're going to stop when we hit the 3/8 of an inch box at the bottom down both sides. I'm going to also take this one to the machine, and we will do the other two sides while we're sitting at the machine. Hi, Linda. How are you? Okay, so let me just flip us over. We will see if Dexter opens my camera, and he did. So let me just readjust that. One sec. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and sew these up. Can you guys still hear me okay? Okay, so again, we're sewing from the top with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and stopping when we hit the 3/8 of an inch box. Coco says hi. Right here, right where the pockets join, it gets a little bit thick. You may need a hump jumper. Stopping at 3/8 of an inch box and back stitching. Okay, and I'm just going to check to see if my threads are stressed out at all. I think I can go in with another little line right next to that. So if it looks like your threads are, you can see them through the seam, if you just go into the seam allowance right next to your first line of stitching, you can go ahead and do another line. And that'll just strengthen that seam. Oh, awesome, Lexi. Okay, and another thing I'm going to do is I want to open up that seam for later. So the seam right here, just down about an inch or so, I'm going to cut just to the thread without snipping my thread. And I'm going to open up that seam like so. And I'm just going to baste just that top part of that seam open. And that'll just help reduce some of that bulk when we go to top stitch later on. I will be doing that with all 4 seams as we do them, just so you know what I'm doing. You don't have to, you can just open them up when you're sewing if you want to, but I know I always forget it, so. Okay, and my threads don't look stressed out anymore, so that's perfect. Let's do the other side. Oh my gosh, Coco. I promise she will calm down probably in about 10 minutes or so when the kids are all done walking home from school. We all have such a long to-do list, I swear, so do I. Okay. Go in with my second row of stitching just to help strengthen it a little. Oh, I unthreaded my needle. How the heck did I do that? Any high-pitched sounds with her barking, or have we resolved that problem now? I think we've resolved it. I think the problem before was I had too many mics on at the same time. So right now I only have one mic on. I turned all the mics off from each of the cameras and only have one on. Okay, I'm going to cut into that seam to open up that seam allowance and baste in place. Okay, and while I'm at the machine, I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the other sides. I'm just going to do them right at the machine here. Oh my gosh, crazy dogs. No high-pitched sounds. Excellent. Holy, can you guys hear the traffic out there? My street is relatively quiet, except for when school's in and out, but I am on a bus route, so. One. Okay, and then cut in to open up that seam. Again, that's just something I like to do. Open it up and baste it. Trick I wish I had known about when I was on my domestic machines, because that would have just probably saved some of my vinyl that got eaten up at all those heavy seams. Okay, and then the final one, and it's forming the tube without a bottom on the bottom. Oh my gosh, cocoa beans. She won't bark if I'm sitting with her up there. It's because there's nobody up there. Oh, and there goes Dexter too. Nobody up there to make them behave. Last seam. I think I'm running out of bobbin here pretty quick. Uh-oh, what's going on there? Okay, still. I can tell when I'm almost out of bobbin because my thread gets kind of all wrinkly. Yes, Coco owns the street. Thing is, I don't know if you can hear it, but we have tons of neighbors with dogs. Look, I ran out of bobbin. I should have changed it. And I can hear all the neighbors' dogs going nuts too. And I think she starts it, so. Her bark is so loud being a hound. Okay, take two. Okay, and open up that last seam. This one is the most awkward of the seams to do, but still worth it. Get in there. no time to do it, and it just helps so much in that final top stitch. Alrighty. Back to, oh, now they're chasing the cat. Okay, back to the tables. Oopsies. This is what we want right here. Okay, so this is what we got so far. Oh my gosh, Coco. Now what we want to do is we want to take our bottom and we want to find the long side centers. Okay, so this is the bottom of the bag here. And we're going to stick them in right sides together. And this is where those match up that center. And this is where those Y seams work, because we didn't sew all the way to the bottom. You kind of just spread those seams apart so you can bring this one right to the edge. See how I'm pushing that one out of the way from the side, and bring that up. And clip in place. All the way to this side. And we will do both the long sides at the machine. So I'll sew this side first, and then we'll do the other side, and then we'll come back to the table and I'll show you how to do the short sides. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sew from 3/8 of an inch box to 3/8 of an inch box, kind of moving the bag like this, making sure we don't catch that side. Kind of feel the 3-bit needle down to make sure we're not catching that side in there. So you're almost going right, if you can feel right where the seam is there, that's where you want to put it down, right in that 3/8 box. Okay, back stitch, cross. You can kind of see the motion the bag moves here. See, it kind of goes like this. Your foot should be right next to the Decovil Heavy, or the heavy stabilizer. All the way to the other. Uh-oh, I shifted a little bit. Took out the clips too soon. And 3/8 of an inch box, and then backstitch. And I'm just going to go in with that second line of stitching to strengthen my seam. Don't have to do that with all vinyls. I find I do with these Rex metallics for my blind bags. It's okay. Okay. So you'll know if you've done well because you'll see our lines meet up from our seams, and mine does on both sides here. So you got a nice perpendicular line and they all meet up. Is that perpendicular? Is that the right word? I don't know. Now we're going to pull the other long side out and do the exact same thing. Match up that center. Pull that seam apart here so you can get it up in there. Oh, cocoa beans. That bark actually sounds like I have an Amazon delivery. Same for this other side. Hope I'm not getting everybody else's dogs going, so sorry for her noisiness. She's been quiet all day long. Okay, so again, we're going to sew there. 3/8 to 3/8, just kind of squish your bag. Yeah, Coco has many barks, and they all mean something different. So does Dexter, but Coco especially. Anybody that has a hound dog understands that. Why do I want to shift there? There we go. Okay. And then across. Actually, I might be able to show how to do the sides here at the machine as well. Let me just do that. Okay, so let's check. As you can see, you can't really see because I'm using white thread, but they do definitely meet up. Okay, now so for these sides, if we've done all of that right, you will see how these will fit just perfectly like so. See? So on these short sides, go ahead and clip those, and then sew from 3/8 of an inch box to 3/8 of an inch box, and that'll completely close up our bottom. I'm going to go ahead and clip both sides right now, just so they're done. Look at all these messy threads. So again, just kind of pull it flat, match up those sides, pull those corners out of the way, and they should fit nice and perfect and just go right in how you want them to. Love finishing bags like this, as you guys know, because we did that in our up and away pattern too. Oopsies. What's going on here? Shifted a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we can go ahead and sew those shut from 3/8 of an inch box to 3/8 of an inch box. Kind of want to, you can see where here you can see where the side stitches stopped. You kind of want to start right where the side stitches stopped, which should be right on that 3/8 of an inch box, or pretty close. Make sure the corner pops out here so you don't accidentally sew through it and make a nip or a tuck. Make sure those corners are behaving. I like sticking my hand inside the bag. Hard to really show what I'm doing here. Let's see how we did. Meets up and meets up. Perfect. So I can go in with my second row stitching here. You can also stick your hand in there and make sure there's no holes in those corners. And I'm good. Last one. push it flat. Now it's behaving the way I want it to. Okay, let's check to make sure everything meets up before I do that final. So you can see here, this one comes down, meets, and meets. You can see it on the bottom here, meets, actually, yeah, meets and meets. Perfect. Really hard to see with the white thread. Again, not everybody has to do the second row stitching. I kind of take it case by case depending on the vinyl. Okay. Oh my gosh, Coco. Okay, go back to the table. All right. Again, I'm just going to kind of poke into the corners from the inside. Make sure all the corners are caught, and they are. Pretty sure. Yep. Now we want to trim up these corners. So the way we do that is you kind of take them, see how it forms like a Y? Kind of looks like a Y. You got two going out this way and this one. You kind of want to fold them in, and without cutting the stitches where they join, you're just going to go ahead and trim corner off like that, making sure you're not cutting your stitching. So it kind of goes flat, and just trim off that corner without cutting the stitching we just did, and it just removes some of that bulk from the bottom corners. And one more. Feels really weird not having foam in a bag. It does to me anyways. Oops. Try this way. Sometimes one way lays nicer than the other to trim. Okay, I'm going to once again just kind of poke into the corners before I turn this out to make sure they're all sealed up. Is that one? Yep. Okay, and then you can go ahead and you can turn your bag right side out. Oh, I'm really warm all of a sudden. Holy moly. It's a little bit tougher. It's not super tough to turn out when all vinyl, but because we have a couple different layers of pockets and everything, just make sure not to pull anything too hard. Just kind of massage it through. See how the corners turned out nicely. Another beautiful corner right there. See, look how nice that is. You can see all the corners turned out really good. Look at that. Not too wrinkly. I didn't use Decovil Light, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's pretty good. Okay, so we can set that aside for now and we can work. You love that pink? That's the metallic pink Rex from Line bags. Okay. So for homework, you should have done your lining panels with the pockets that you wanted, leaving your zipper pocket open, which I have done. We actually are very close to being done, believe it or not. Now we're gonna work on our zipper panels. And I believe I did this a little bit different that she does. So let me see, we are on page 27. She calls this the zipper plaquette. I call it the zipper panel. I will be using a metal zipper end. Yes. So you can do it her way. I do all my zipper panels the same way, so that's the way we are going to do them today. So on the back of our two linings and our two exteriors, we're going to draw in from each side. Holy cocoa. 3/4 of an inch from each side. Each of the short ends. She's now barking at the pizza delivery guy that's across the street. Domino's Pizza. Okay. I'm going to take some double-sided tape. And we're going to fold all of those short ends into that line, so that'll make them fold over by 3/8 of an inch. So go ahead and tape them all first. I could probably do it like this, it'll be faster. Okay, same with the opposite sides. Keep that out, we'll need that still. Okay, and then we're going to fold in all of those sides. Right to that line. Now one thing we want to make sure is they all are the same length. So I'm going to lay them out. If I need to adjust, I can adjust. And they're the same. Perfect. And they're the same. Very important that they are the same. So if you need to adjust, go ahead and adjust them. Sometimes we go a little awry with our cutting. Okay, set those aside for now. Now I'm going to take my zipper tape. Now you can measure out what she has for zipper tape. What I like to do is I do it the same length as my zipper panel. I do it about 2 lengths of that, and that makes it so I have a long tail to work with for when I go to put my zipper pull on, and I can kind of judge how much I need at that point. Okay, so we're not going to put our zipper pull on just yet. Trying to keep this all nice and clean here. Now on the back of the right side, we're going to flip it so it's wrong side up, and we are going to draw a 1-inch line, and that's going to help us put our zipper pull on nice and straight later on. Then we're going to flip it back over, and on the left hand side, this is where we are going to do that fancy zipper thing we do where we pull it apart and we kind of fold it upon itself, kind of make a loop and fold it up and put that little fold right up against the teeth to create this angle going this way, and then get a pin to hold it in place. Okay. And then what we want to do is the same with the other side, and we want it to be as even with the other side as it can be. So like that. Put a pin in place, and then we are going to go right along these raw edges here We're going to baste it in place like that. Again, you're not going to be able to see my thread because it's white on white. Tracing where it needs to go. Just one side. Make sure it caught on both. Good. Okay, back to the table. Okay, I can take out those pins and then we can trim off these wings. So we're back to leveling everything off with the zipper tape here. All right. We're still gonna get this done today, you guys. Totally. Okay, so once you have it that far, you can go ahead and you can pull your tape apart. Now we're going to take one of our lining panel. Actually, we'll take both of our panels. Want to use a erasable pen. From the left-hand side of one of them, we want to make a mark along the top at 1/4 of an inch, like so. And then of the other one, we want to do the same thing, but from the right-hand side, 1/4 of an inch. And this is slightly different than how she does it in the pattern. This is just my preferred way. Okay, you can definitely use clips if you don't want to use double-sided tape, but I'm going to use double-sided tape. And I'm going to put on my lining pieces here from the mark to the end. This one will go from the end to the mark. There. And for the two exteriors, just put it along one of the long edges. Okay. Now our lining pieces are going to be right side up as well as our zipper tape right side up. So for this first one, you want to find the one where when it's right side up, it's curving to the left, and put the curve right at that 1/4 inch mark and stick it down in place. You'll do the same with the opposite one. When it's right side up, it curves to the right, and that's why we've marked it on the right-hand side here, because they need to be mirrored to one another. So lining panel's right side up and the zipper is right side up. Take it down, and then you're going to take your exteriors and put them across right sides together along there, making sure that the lining seam and the exterior seam match up. If you need to adjust it, it's easy enough to do. Mine match up perfect. See? Okay, do the same with the other one. Making sure they match up. Now this one, you can see how my lining is just a slight bit longer. So I'm going to see. Okay, so it's my exterior. I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Just unfolding my tape and refolding it down. It's very important that they're all the same size. Now we're the same size. Okay, so now we're going to sew across there. What does she sew across with? 3/8, I believe. Let me double check. So now equivalent ways, we're on page 28, step 29. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. We're going to put our zipper foot on and sew across those. Oopsies, left you guys in the dark. There we go. Change into my zipper foot. All right. 3/8 inch seam allowance. You want to make sure you don't go do any stitching past your zipper panels, because then it'll show on the zipper tape. We don't want it to show there. So that's one done. Let's do the other one. Okay. Go back to the table. All right. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to bring these wrong sides together. So you can go ahead and you can give it a really good finger press if you like. I'm going to use double-sided tape because I like double-sided tape. And it just helps get it nice and tight, and it doesn't try to go out of the way. So if your machine can handle the double-sided tape, use it. It's amazing stuff. But again, you can just press it if you're using cottons, or finger press it, what have you. But I go through double-sided tape like air. Okay, you can see how nice and straight my zipper is there. We want to do the same with the lining side to bring these wrong sides together. Just put nice and tight against that seam. And these should pretty much match up. Pretty close anyways. Okay, and then these should match up here, and I do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some clips to hold my other sides together. Same with down here. Again, it's very important that they match up here, and they do. Okay, and we'll do the same with the opposite side. Then what we're going to do after this is we are going to top stitch the two short sides and the long side underneath the zipper and baste the bottom raw edge at the same time. So it all becomes one piece. Make sure everything matches up, and they do. Okay, so let's go top stitch and baste that bottom side. So I like to start on the middle of the bottom raw edge just because the back stitch won't be seen. Okay, and this is the first side that we top stitch up. May need a hump jumper here depending on your machine. Sometimes, oh, I almost did there. That seam can be a little thick sometimes. And then top stitch across. How's my tension? Perfection. One done. Always goes so fast when it gets to the lining. It's like the home stretch. You know you're almost done. I even have my cylinder arm all set up with another spool of white because I think we might get to it today. We might have next Tuesday off. This is one of those bags that looks super complicated, but it's really not. Most time is taken doing those front pockets, but the rest is pretty straightforward. Perfect. A piece of double-sided tape sticking out there. All right. Everybody's still there? Everybody got so quiet. So because I've used cotton on the bottom, you can kind of see where it folds over. The raw edge of my cotton piece does look like it's caught in there, but just in case any little piece has gotten through, I like to just take some frayed check, just in case, and just kind of dab it right where the cotton sits right there on both sides. It looks like it's completely engulfed, but just in case it's not. Best to be safe than sorry. I don't do it if I've used canvas or anything, but just because I've used cotton, just to be safe. Dawn's still there. I need a drink. Diane's still there. Diane, you're headed down south soon, are you not? Diane, oh, did you order your 1341? Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, so now we want to find the centers of this panel, so we're going to fold it in half, and along that raw edge we're just going to do our center snip. Same with the other one. And then we want to double check that these are definitely mirrored to one another. So I'm matching up my center snips, and I can see they're the same length, which is good. You can kind of see how they'll go here, and they line up nicely. All right. So now we are going to lining assembly. So we're on page 29, step D, number 45. Okay. So I'm going to start with the panel. The lining panel I want to be the back of my bag. Okay. So we've got our top center there already. Now our lining is right side up, and we want our zipper panel right side up, and we want the side that is closing to the left. So where the little curve is. So these are both right side up, not the opposite way. And we want to match up that center mark and clip it in place. Why do I have those so far away? I can bring them closer. You're going to want to make sure your tail stays out of the way. You don't want to accidentally sew through that at any point in time. Okay, set that one aside. Let's grab our other one. Again, both pieces are right side up, except for now it's curving to the right. Match up that center, clip in place. I hope these pinks look nice together. This is more of an orangey rose goldy pink than this kind of white pink, but I think that they complement each other well. I hope so. I hope she likes it. She told me to choose the linings. So. Okay, and this is at this point, I just like to kind of flip these mirrored to one another. Again, just making sure everything is matching up, which it is. Next, we want to take our interior top panels. Now, let's lay these out. So, like our pattern piece, it's wider along the bottom. So you want to make sure that the wider side is along the bottom, like so. Okay. Now what we want to do is take these. Actually, we want to find our top and bottom center. Find your top and bottom centers of these two pieces. Neighbor's home from work now. She's Coco saying hi. You guys see how close we are to being done? So close. Okay. So now what we want to do is take these and we want to put the bottom side of this to the top of this, right sides together like so, matching that center, adding it into the clips. You could definitely go ahead and baste the first part beforehand. I just like to do it all at the same time. Save a step, makes it faster. And it should match perfectly, which mine does. Some broken clips in there. Okay, and same with the opposite side. Oh, Miss Coco. I love this bag. I am so impressed with anything Car Threads right now. I truly am. It's like I'm hooked on making her bags. I think the next one I'm going to make is the Mercury. I want to make that for my cruise bag. I'm going on an Alaskan cruise for my 26th wedding anniversary and my 49th birthday. Thanks, Diane. This is the Rex Metallic Pink from Emmeline Bags. Okay, let me figure out what seam allowance we're going. Okay, so we're going to sew across each of these with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And while I'm at the machine, once that's done, we're going to flip this up so the seam ends up pointing down towards the bottom. And you'll see the back side of the zipper panel. And we're going to top stitch it in place through the lining panel. We'll do that all at the machine. Makes sense? Please do ask questions. And I'm going to change back into my regular foot. I don't need to have my zipper foot on anymore. Oh my gosh, Coco, she is being a girl today. Usually she's calmed down by now. Okay, so 3/8 of an inch. That's what you get for having a studio in your house. I don't have soundproofing at all, so good thing everybody loves her. Okay. So I'm actually going to chain stitch these so I don't have to break my thread too many times. Go in with the other one. She's guarding me. Now I think she's just, she gets such joy from that front window. And she's taking advantage because she knows I can't come and get her away from it because she knows I'm busy. She's not dumb. Those apart. Oh, do you know what? I gotta go in again. I was still on my top stitching length. Darn it. Is it gonna matter? No, I don't think it's gonna matter. It's just a little bit thicker of a top stitch. I was at a 6 and I usually sew at a 4.5 or a 5, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, so now we're gonna flip that seam up. So it's pointing down and we're gonna top stitch through the lining. So the bottom side of your zipper panel should be looking at you. And top stitch. On the lining side. Making sure it's pulled nice and tight. That's one done. So close to being done. Okay, back to the table. And you guys see how I get up and down? I go from machine to table. I could do it all at the machine, but this is how I get my exercise during the day. Getting up and standing and sitting down at the machine, back and forth. It works good for me. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now what we want to do is take these two panels and put them at right sides together. And when we have the you'll see that they all line up well. Now, we're not going to worry about this bottom or the box corners. We're doing that at the very, very end. Makes this bag so easy to turn. So the first thing you want to do is where our linings and our top panels meet, you want to kind of line those up so you get a nice continuous line and clip there first. Couple clips. Should be nice and even to the top. That in place. And then all the way down the side. Only an hour in. Yep. We're going to get this done today. I said once you get past those pockets, it goes so fast. The Yoshi is the same way. There's a good chance we may get that done on Thursday as well. We will see. It's a fairly fast sew, this bag. I have not done my strap yet though. So that will not be done today. But that's okay. Okay, and I just got to refresh myself. Seam allowance. Okay, that's what I thought. So for this, we're going to sew down each of these. So for about, what is that, about 3 inches or so, we're going to sew with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So from the top here to here, and then we're going to branch out until we get to the bottom. And when we end, we should be at about a 5/8 of an inch. So you're like 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, and then just do a gradual branch out to wherever 5/8 is. And you'll do the same on this side. I always just mark it so I remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Where are all my clips? I've got 3 bowls of them. It's all good. I've got 2 full bowls. Oh, I should have 3 full bowls. I think I lost a bowl of clips due to breaking. Time to get another box. All right. So let's go to the machine and do that. Here's another bowl of clips. This is the one at the machine. I always have an empty bowl here, and then I put the clips into that, and then when it's full or run out at the table, I just switch them out. Okay. So I'm going to start with 3/8 at the top here. Backstitch well. Okay, and then about 2.5 to 3 inches down is where you can gradually start branching out to a 5/8. So now I'm going to start getting bigger, just kind of push it over to my 5/8 line on my marking thing here. All the way to the bottom. And what that does is it makes the top circumference of the bag the same as what the exterior is for when we sew it together, but it makes the lining slightly smaller so we have a snug fit for the lining. Okay, so that one's done. This side I'm going to start from the bottom side, so I'm starting at 5/8 of an inch, and then I will branch into the 3/8 one side. Oh, look, I did it again. What the heck? I keep on threading my needle. Need to hold my threads better, I guess. Come on. Because then I have the pressure of threading it on camera. Good thing I have good vision. Just went to the eye doctor, 20/20 vision. Still good. Although I do need reading glasses to read like bottles and boxes and stuff. Like really small print. Just started needing those. Okay, and then once I hit where I marked where I have to branch back into my 3/8 inch seam allowance. So I have the same circumference. Where are you? There you are. Very important, the top is only 3/8. And I'm going to do that trick here again, where I'm going to snip an inch down and open up that seam, so I don't have to worry about it when I'm doing my final sew around. So I know it stays in place, so I cut an inch down so I can open up that seam allowance like so, and I'm just going to baste that. A little bit awkward. Again, make sure you're not getting your zipper tails in there by accident. This is something I learned from car threads, and it's just such a handy tip, and I do it now for all of my bags. Because not having to worry about that staying butterflied open or nesting your seams, it's already done for you. Oh, except for not when I did that one, because it all... See what I did? It didn't do it. Let me just clip that open. You're supposed to stay open, Mr. Bag. Okay. Take 2. Make sure it stays butterflied open. Again, you don't have to do this. I just like to hold that seam open, baste it open. Okay, it's open this time. There we go. There's one side done. Where did I put my scissors? They're there. Oh, I already did that snip. Open it up. Make sure it's the belly open. And just something that takes like an extra minute or so is worth it. And it may save you some frustration later on. All right. That's our lining done, you guys. Now we get to put it all together, and I'm gonna have to switch the cameras. Again, I already have my machine threaded, so that's good. Because I am going to switch to my cylinder arm because I do have that novelty, but I will explain how I would sew it if I were on my flatbed as well. Okay, so look at that. So now we want to take our exterior and our lining. You want to make sure they're situated in the way that your front is with your slip pocket and your back is with your zipper pocket, or whichever way you have it. You just want to have it so your zipper is closing to the left, so where it veers down. Okay? Once you have how you want it, actually first, I'm getting ahead of myself. Where'd my scissors go? The seam allowance right here, where we branched out to 5/8, I'm just going to trim it down to 3/8 just to reduce some of that bulk. Just like that. Just so we don't have as much bulk in the bag. Trim it down to 3/8. There we go. Okay. So situate it the way you want it and go ahead and through that whole opening in the bottom, put it down and over the bag, the exterior, so the right sides together. Now this one here, your zipper does want to go up, so you got to make sure you're kind of pushing your zipper down so you're not going to accidentally sew through that. So just be very aware of where that is. You're going to match up. Oh no. Oh no. So I forgot to mark my centers of my top when I trim them up. So I'm going to have to find out where those centers are. So something I should have done before sewing the bag together. But all I'm going to do is bring my seams together here. I guess it's good. I do this sometimes. Kind of pinch it and bring it up, and that'll snip your center. Should have done that before sewing it all together, but so match up the seam here, bring it down, and snip that center. Okay, let's do this again. Situate it the way you want it to be, and fit in. Make sure your rectangle rings or D-rings are down as well. You don't want to be running over hardware. You can see how easy this is going to be to turn. Okay, again, see how my zipper is up? Make sure you push it kind of down because we don't want to accidentally sew through that, and match up your centers. Push it down. So you want to be very aware where your zipper panel is, because it's close to the top, and you want to be very well aware of your zipper tail so you don't sew through it, and your side connector rings because you don't want to sew through them either. Okay. So I clip the center with 3 or 4 clips to hold that in place. First, go around the other side. Again, I like to clip in quarter sections. Make sure this zipper is pointing down so you don't accidentally sew through it. Match up the lining and the exterior centers there, 3 or 4 clips. I will use a ton of clips, as you guys know. See how fast it goes once we get to the lining? It goes so fast. Okay. Now, this is one where I probably could have marked the side centers of my exterior to match with the center seam of my lining, but I didn't do that, but I'm just going to eyeball it. I think I can tell where center is. So match up your side centers. If I need to adjust, I can. A couple clips. And this is where it's nice to know, see, it's already open, so you're not going to have to worry about that bulk. Same with the other side. Make sure everything is down. Make sure you know where your tails are, so they're down. Where is that other tail? You can also reach up here and grab your tails down. That side's not tails. Where are my tails? My tails are evading me. Get down there. There we go. Okay. Side centers. Then once you have those quarter sections all where they need to be, we can go ahead and evenly distribute the fabric in between those quarter sections. Use a lot of clips if you want. Don't be scared of clips. Okay, so they should, see, in between those quarter sections, you should just be able to pull it and they will fall nicely together. Easiest way to evenly distribute that fabric, quarter sections. Next one. Same thing. It's really good. And there it is again. See, my seam is already open for me, so I don't have to worry about finagling that. It's hard enough when you're trying to get everything to go where it needs to go. Next side, see, perfectly straight. Excellent. I think my friend Bobby is going to love her new bag. It's actually the first time she has ordered a bag from me. She used to order slippers and socks from me back before I was sewing. This is the first time she's ordered a bag, so I'm excited and nervous. Hopefully she likes it. She's one of those people that likes Coach bags and that kind of thing, so I was really shocked that she wants one of mine. She was even saying, when do I get my Brandy bag? I can't wait. Okay, so we have this all clipped with my million clips. Now, if I was doing this on my flatbed, I would sew it from the inside all the way around, okay? But if you're on a cylinder arm like me, or have a free arm, and you can see it's a little bit awkward because of all of our pockets and everything here, but I'm gonna sew along this side. So I'm gonna quickly, I have to flip my camera around, so I'm gonna make you guys dizzy. So one sec here, giving you a black screen. Because this camera now has to become my cylinder arm camera. Let me bring this up. I already have it wired. Okay, is that okay? I think you guys will be able to see right there. Hopefully I don't block your view with my arm. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? I think this is the camera I have the sound on, so please let me know if you can't hear me. Not that you can hear me say, can you hear me or not? I've turned my iPad so I can see it. All right, here we go. I've already got this one threaded. Perfect, okay. So for those that have a cylinder arm, I know Diane, you're getting one. It's a little bit harder to hold your threads back on a cylinder arm. So I have these little invisible magnets, and I take my threads long and I stick them to the machine for the first couple stitches. Because a cylinder arm, you definitely do not want those threads getting stuck in there. Trust me, it's a nightmare. Ask me how I know. Okay, so I said, okay. Let's go around with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Back stitching well. Always nervous on this machine because I don't use it that often. Just to finish my bags. I know it seems silly to have a $5,000 machine just for top stitching and doing this, but it's worth it. And he's finally paid off. I now own both of my machines outright, which is a fantastic feeling. I took out a loan. Central Sewing offers financing, and I had a loan for this one. And when I got laid off from my job during COVID, I had a severance package, and Dave had a severance package too, but we used my severance package and I bought my flatbed machine with that. It was a scary splurge, but I knew I was going to try to do this full time, so I needed an industrial. The 2010 Q just wasn't cutting it for me anymore. I had outgrown it.
pretty, what's pretty boogie? Pretty boogle? I don't know what you're saying. Pretty. I don't know what you're looking at, Dawn. Bougie? I'm missing something. Make sure. And I never do this part fast, as you can see. I'm much faster at the other machine. This is the nerve-wracking part. Pretty bougie because I have two machines. They've paid for themselves. They truly have. I'm really lucky. I mean, I did get, well, I had my flatbed machine for a year, and then she broke because I didn't hold my threads back. And it took me about 2 months to get her fixed. So I ordered this machine, so I had a machine while that one was getting fixed. I know. Okay, I made it all the way around, so I'm just going to look into the inside of the bag, make sure everything was caught evenly all the way around. And then I am going to do that second row of stitching. So just make sure nothing shifted, that everything was caught, and it was. And then I'm just going to do my strengthening stitch. So I'm going to go in with a little bit bigger of a stitch. I'm just going 1/8 of an inch away from that other one. I find with thinner vinyls and using the Tech 70, I need to do this more than say with the thicker vinyls. And Rex is a very domestic friendly thinner vinyl, so. Probably because I'm using a thicker thread with it, with the Tech 70 rather than a 45. Ooh, a little bit right there, Tommy got away from me. That means expensive and high class. It's expensive, that's for sure. Okay, back to the table.
Sorry, left you guys in the dark. Diane, on my Tommy machine, my stitch lengths, I find I go up a full point more than on my flatbed. Don't ask me why. So on my 1541, I usually do my stitching at 4.5 and my 4.5 to 5, and my top stitching at 5.5 to 6. On my cylinder arm, it's like 5.5 and 6.5 to 7. So yeah, that's what I do. I put it to a 7.5 there just to do that second row of stitching, just because that's just a strengthening stitch, and I don't want to, what is it called, perforate my vinyl too much. So you don't want them to be the same stitch length when you do that second round of stitching, just because too many holes may cause your vinyl to tear, especially in a thinner vinyl like the Rex's. So yeah, okay. So now, once we have all that, we can do our easy turn through the bottom. Look at this, easy. Not an arm killer. Makes me so happy. Give this a tug right along here to make sure everything was caught and there's no holes. She looks good. Oops, I got a runaway thread there. Okay. And once you're happy with that, go ahead and stuff it into the bag. We're gonna get it done. We have half hour left. So with the zipper panel, you always want to make sure you're pulling your lining really taut are really, really tight, because here is where we're going to do our top stitch seam. So as we kind of roll that, I want to make sure the lining isn't caught up in between those layers, if that makes sense. So I just kind of do a quick pull and start clipping it in place to prepare for top stitching. We will close up this bottom once top stitching is done. But yes, you want to make sure your lining is pulled nice and tight down. Diane, you will find your 1341 has a little more power. They're almost identical machines, but I find my 1341 is stronger. Okay, so if you are doing this on a flatbed that doesn't have a free arm, you may want to turn your bag inside out before doing this, and then do your seams, and then top stitch your exterior from the lining side. That would make it a lot easier. Or you could do it this way and just make sure your bobbin is really good, because it would show on the outside. But before I have my cylinder arm, I would turn my bags inside out, and then you can pretend this is inside out, and then it's easier to top stitch around there on a flatbed. Another straight thread right there. I did pretty good finding my centers there. I'm proud of me. A little straight thread right there. Make sure your zippers are down and out to the bottom. This is so pretty in pink. This is so going to match Bobby. It's one of our favorite movies when we were teenagers too. Anything John Hughes, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club. Am I dating myself yet? Aging myself? I'm an 80s girl. I am. And Diane, when you get your 1341, you know, I'll help you with everything. Has it been ordered? Are you waiting for it to get off the boat? It is so weird to me not having that foam thickness. I'm so used to having foam. I mean, this is it's pretty standy-uppy still, which is good. But I did use 2 layers of AB Fuse Heavy. Oh, you're in Florida right now, Diane. Why did I think you weren't going to Florida until March 8th? Maybe you're coming back March 8th. Ah, so you have your Juki with you in Florida. Diane has a Juki in Florida and then her Titans in Canada. How's the weather in Florida? Seems like so long ago that I was in Florida, but that was really only September. Okay, so we already talked about you're going to top stitch this in the same way that you sewed it together. So again, I'm going to do it from the outside. You do the same on the free arm. If you're on a flatbed, you could either do it this way from the inside, making sure your bobbin is really good, or you could have turned your bag right side or wrong side out and top stitch from the inside of the bag as well. It's cold in Florida, really? Okay, so I'm going to flip. I'm going to leave you guys in the dark for a moment here. There we go. And let's top stitch this. Again, being aware where your zipper tails are and your zipper panels. Okay, and I'm going to put this back down to a 7 for my top stitch on this machine. Again, if I was on my flatbed, I would be at a 5.5 to a 6. And if I was on a domestic, I would be at between a 4, probably a 4 and a 5.
secure my threads there so I don't wreck my machine. Okay. I'm going to start in the middle of one of the sides. Eighth of an inch seam allowance. And Diane, I find my 1341, my tension hardly ever goes out. Knock on wood. Oh, Coco heard me knock on my desk. Oh, darn it. She's got good ears. Sorry. It's because I knocked on it. Now she thinks somebody's at the door. My fault. Alexia, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? That's funny. Come on, if you're going to mistext something, make it something juicy. Can you guys see what I'm doing okay? It's kind of a different angle for this, but my room's only so big for the camera, so. Okay, gotta make sure my tails are out of the way. Just kind of holding them back with my fingers here. Oh, Coco, I got her going. See, I don't do anything fast at this machine. This gets going so fast. I think she was sleeping and now I've awoken the beast by knocking on my table here. Rookie mistake. This is good. I'm going to be able to get this off to the mail for her. She lives in Salmon Arm. Only about an hour or so away from me. We both grew up in Rayleigh. Beautiful. Turned out so good.
Alrighty. Whoops. Nope, that's not what I want. Split table. Yes, look at that. Do you know what? I'm really impressed with the lining. Diane, I always use the same foot on my cylinder arm, yes. Unless it's the only machine I'm using. The feet between the two machines are interchangeable. So if you ever need to do, like, if I was doing a zip top closure, I would do it on that machine and I'd put my zipper foot on. Okay, so now we need to close up that bottom. So we're going to open up the zipper pocket. And we're going to grab that entire bottom that we left fully open and pull it through the pocket. This will be a little tougher for me because I used EB Fuse Medium as on the back of my cotton. Because it was kind of a thin cotton and I wanted to just give it a little bit more something. Okay, so we're going to work on this in stages. First thing we want to sew up is that straight edge. So you're going to find that straight edge and match up that center mark we made and pin that. Or clip that. And then we're going to sew across this part with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we're using 5/8 of an inch because we had made our seam allowances bigger to the bottom of the bag. So our lining is slightly smaller than our exterior, so it doesn't look all floopy and loose inside the bag. Okay, so we'll switch this. I'm going to switch my camera. Actually, maybe I'll just... Okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? I'm only going to use the one camera because the other one's set up at the other machine. And I think I just turned the volume onto this camera, so let me know if you can hear me. Okay. So 5/8, 4.5 inch or 4.5 stitch length, and across the bottom. Hear me? Perfect. All the way to the other side. Let go. I'm not using almond thread on my machine right now. I'm using some that I got from Cleaner Supply once upon a time and trying to use it up. My almond thread I have on the other machine, but I see why I don't like this thread. This wasn't Cleaner Supply, sorry. This was Picana. I do not like the thread from Picana. It's Tex 70, but it just frays and breaks so easy. That's why I keep having to rethread my machine. I mean, it's fine once it's stitched in, but I don't recommend it. Okay.
Okay, can you guys still hear me? So that's that bottom done. Now we want to box the corners. So we're going to bring our fingers in here. I'm going to cut my threads back here because I can. And we're going to bring that side seam and that bottom seam together. I'm just going to nest them. You can open them up if you want, but I'm going to nest them. So I got them together. I'm going to put one seam to the left and one seam to the right and clip across. Same with the other side. Kind of poke your fingers into there, bring those two seams together, and try to nest them in the same direction. So the bottom seam is going the same direction on both sides. See? So fast after we get the exterior done, hey? Even putting the exterior, all the panels together is fast. It's just making those pockets and shaping the bag. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and sew across both of those with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance.
All right, let's change that. There we go. Okay. Feels a little bit awkward, but it's doable. Just got to make sure you're holding everything out of the way. And again, if this isn't perfect, nobody's going to know the difference. Just make sure everything is tucked out of the way. One side done. Other side done. Get in there.
this one. Okay. So just these side seams, I'm just going to trim them up a little bit. About 3/8. I'm not going to worry about the bottom seam. Go ahead and stuff that back in through that pocket. Make sure. Oh, it looks so, that looks sexy. Look at that. Oh, look how tight that fits in there. Look at that. I'm happy. She's gonna love it. Okay, now our pockets, fold in that lining, fold in the raw edges to the center. I've already pressed mine in, and we can go ahead and top stitch that closed. Oh, Coco's at the front door barking now. Oh, she went upstairs. Okay, let's go top stitch the pocket closed.
It's so perfect. The other one was really good too, but this one is so pretty. This one, I mean, this one's going to one of my oldest dearest friends. The other one is a client, which she's a good client. But, I mean, it's always really special when one of your childhood friends, somebody that's known you pretty much your whole life, wants to get something. And we haven't even seen each other in 10 years, besides on Facebook. I was so touched when she wanted to order this. And she chose such classy stuff to make it out of. Well, I chose the lining, but... it's getting dark. It's dusk.
Table. It's dusk out. It's just, it's dark, but it's not dark. Okay, so you can stuff the pocket back in. And you can see how the EB Fuse Lite, or EB Fuse Heavy, all the wrinkles are gone. So much better than Decovil Lite. And you can use, like, if I was using a thicker vinyl, like for the glitter one, I would have only used one layer of EB Fuse Heavy, but because this is a lighter vinyl, I chose to use 2, just to make it a little bit stiffer. I got a stray thread right there. Oh my gosh, this is like so nice. If I do say so myself. I just can't believe how tight that lining is. Okay, so this is my strap. It's not done. Again, mine I'm just attaching straight onto the bag. I think the pattern is swivel clasp, so you clip it on that way. I saved myself hardware, so. I will show you quickly how I put my zipper pulls on. I've shown it before. This is why I keep my tails super, super long. Let me just, don't judge my messy floor when I show you this. Can everybody see my fork here? That's pretty, what is it that Dawn says? Bougie? I have a fork. I don't like Decovil. I like Decovil Heavy on the bottom of my bags for sure over Peltex, but I do not like Decovil Lite. I have it, but EB Fuse Heavy by far, so much better, and it's woven. Okay, so I have my zipper pull wrong side up with the little curvy part up. I'm going to take my zipper. So this is the way the zipper is going to go on. I'm going to flip it over so I see the wrong side. And remember that line we drew on the back there? The reason we do that is when we feed it through our zipper jig, you don't have to keep going on and off and on and off. You just kind of go for that 1 inch. And if that line matches up, your zipper is straight. It was just slightly off still. It's still slightly off. Just so you don't have to pull it all the way on. That looks pretty good. And if it's gone on straight, see how my line is even? Look how perfect. See? And then I would trim, I'm not going to do it right now. I would trim my tail, say from the bag, about 2 inches, leaving my tail 2 inches long from the bag. And that is where I will install my zipper end. So I'll cut it right now because I know that's what I'm going to do. I guess I can do my zipper end right now. Yes, Cynthia, it is so cheap too, like so cheap. Way cheaper than Decovil. At least in Canada it's cheaper. I don't know if you have better prices in the States, but okay. So I'll show you how I do my zipper ends. I don't know if I've ever showed this before. I need to find a silver screw. 1 second. Because we have made really good time. We still have 15 minutes left, so I may as well do this. I won't be doing the handle with you because it's not made. This is my little odds and ends screw bin. I found I got some that were a little bit too long. These ones will do. Just use my fabric scissors for that. Okay. Okay, so I take my zipper end and I kind of, on the back here, I fold it in to the teeth like that, almost like a double fold, but I kind of do it from this side. I fold it in to the back and then over the teeth, and then this side in to the back and then over the teeth. So it looks like that on the back. And then I take my lighter and I just burn it. And then I take a clip to hold all that in place. So it looks like that. And then I take my zipper end and I like to put some fabric tack on the inside. I don't know if it helps hold it or not, but in my head it does. I just put a little dollop of that in there, like that. And then I slip it over my end. Nice and tight, like so. Lay it down, flip it over, and then I screw in my screw, and the glue helps hold everything nice and tight once it's in. I don't think I'll ever make zipper ends for my tails ever. This screwdriver really sucks. It's just one of those little electronic screwdrivers. Of course, I don't know why I'm using it instead of my other one. And that is in there, just like that. So pretend it has the strap on, because it doesn't. See, wrinkles are gone. So there's our hidden pocket. If my hands will work. Our back magnetic pocket. Look how beautiful that recessed zipper is. And the best part is how tight everything is in the bag. I'm just so incredibly impressed with this bag. It turned out so good. And I'll just take where I put my lighter, just where my threads are on the side here. Careful not to burn my vinyl. I'm just going to kind of, so my threads don't fray too much. That was my start and stop. I think she's going to love it. She's going to love it. And that's it. Let me grab the other one. Come out of there. This whole shelf here is all bags that are going out the door. I got to take them all in the mailbox tomorrow. So, 2 completely different vinyls. A thick glitter vinyl. See, the bag can look completely different. It's awesome. So this one's for a regular customer and this one is for a childhood friend. And they chose their vinyls and everything. I didn't. So that's it. Cynthia, I am so glad you didn't scrap your bag because your sides were too short. Sides can be redone. And even if your bag isn't quite the right size, we can make it work. Just message me. This one is my favorite though. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So pretty. Yay. Well, thank you everybody. So Zynah, I don't know how to say it, took 3 classes cut to finish. That's pretty darn good. And really the homework that we had from last week, I started it at about 1:30 and I was finished at 2:15 today. So it's a fast bag to make. Fast bag to make. So I hope everybody who hasn't started it and definitely does one. It looks like it is, it looks like it's complicated, but as you can see, it totally is not. It is so nice. So nice. Yeah, I'll have to make more. You're going to message me, Cynthia, if you need help? Good. Good, good, good. Okay, so remember, Tuesday bag for March is the How You Doing Bowler Bag by Sincerely Jen. Make sure you go grab the pattern if you haven't already. We have that discount. It's on the Facebook page. It's also in the YouTube community chat. And I'm going live tomorrow too, and I will announce what they are then. And then the Thursday bag for March is the Descassau by Country Cow. There's a 40% coupon for that one. That bag is going to be tough. I'm doing the How You Doing tutorial. I'm going to start it tomorrow. And the Descassau I will be doing next week. And yeah, the Descassau, do not use slippery materials. I'm doing mine primarily in cottons with vinyl accents. You don't want to do it all vinyl, trust me. I've watched her tutorial and I can see why it would be hard in all vinyls. It's a super unique construction. We're going to learn a whole bunch with it. So make sure you go and grab that. Awesome. Did you purchase both of them, Cynthia? Oh, and because I just did the Rosie tutorial, Shannon did give me a coupon code for everybody to get 10% off for 2 weeks. And it also looks like, if I can read the polls properly or predict them, the Rosie is winning for the, I don't know which day, if it's Tuesday or Thursday for April. So it looks like 2 knotted thread patterns so far are winning for April, the Aries and the Rosie. And the Rosie I've already done a tutorial for, so I won't do a membership exclusive tutorial for that one. But make sure you go and vote for your April bags and start thinking about your nominations for May. You got your Rosie pattern already? Excellent. So yes, Shannon only gives coupon codes for 2 weeks, so make sure you go grab your Rosie pattern. If you miss it this time, I'm pretty sure it's winning for April, so she will give us coupon codes again for Rosie and for Aries. Yeah, Rosie is winning by 50%, and I think Aries is at 39%, and the polls are open. They're still open for 9 days, so they could still go any other direction. But yeah, if Aries wins, she will give me another 10% off coupon, I'm sure. So yay! But they'll both be really, really good bags as well. I'm really liking new designers letting me do stuff because we're finding stuff like this. Thank you to everybody who suggested I reach out to Car Threads because love it. It's actually really sturdy. I'm surprised. There you go. Okay, so no class next Tuesday, everybody. This is the final class. The tutorial for this will release to the public side of the channel on Saturday. I'm going to start releasing my tutorials on Saturday. That's the highest engagement for people watching it on the public side. Now, I did just finish filming the Louis waist bag by Creations. I was going to release that one this Saturday, but now that one will not release until the beginning of March because this Saturday will be this one, the next Saturday will be the Yoshi bag, and then the one after that will be the Louis waist bag by Creations. But this is what's bonus about being a member, is as soon as I have it done, probably tomorrow or Thursday, I will upload it, and until the public release date when I release them on a Saturday, members will have a sneak peek. So as soon as I have it done, I will upload it to the Beans Peeps Club, so everybody that's a member will be able to have a sneak peek of that. And that's where I'm going to use as my database of tutorials that are releasing. So I'm only going to release one tutorial a week on Saturdays. So I'm going to try to get a few ahead because I do have vacations and stuff coming up. It would be nice to have a few tutorials kind of on the back burner, so you will see member tutorials kind of filling up for the Beans Peeps Club until release days to the public side. So it's just a bonus for you guys. I hear sirens. That's not good. Now Coco's going to start howling. Oh no. Or not. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you all do make a Zynah bag. When you do finish your Zynah bags, make sure you post them to the page as well as put them in the album in the Beans Bag Bagmakers group. I don't think I was going to do a year-end movie. I didn't get enough pictures for all the bags to do it. There's some bags I have tons for and other bags where it's just my pictures, and I don't think I can do a year-end movie without all of the pictures, unfortunately, because I can't just have one bag for one of the months and nothing for the other, unfortunately. So I'm giving it till the end of February. So if you have any class bags for 2023 that you haven't submitted yet, please do submit to me or post them on the page, because that's will determine whether I do that year-end movie or not. All right, everybody join me at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. I have a mail opening. I haven't gone live on the channel since December 5th. To the public side. So good night, everybody. Love you all. I'll see most of you on Thursday. Bye.